Hey guys, so for this video, I'm gonna talk about how you can improve your shotgun aim and as a result, hit more max damage pumps. I don't know about you guys, but my shotgun aim was never that good in the past. My tracking has always been solid, my close range SMG spray is great, even my sniping is pretty top tier. Where I've struggled is with 1v1 shotgun battles. The good thing about this though is that I'm not alone. Have you ever noticed how there's tons of insanely fast editors and builders, yet there's not too many insane aimers outside of controller players? Well, that's because your aim, especially your shotgun aim, is by far the hardest mechanic in Fortnite to perfect. It takes tons of practice and time. However, there are a few tricks you can utilize to get better shotgun aim instantly, and that's what I'm going to share with you here today. These are a combination of tips I've used myself, as well as things I picked up from pros like Mitro, Saf, and Aqua. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. The first tip I have is to start ADSing with your shotgun. ADS stands for aim down sight and is performed when you press right click on your mouse or left bumper on controller. Most people think the only benefit of aiming down sight is that you'll be more accurate because your crosshair gets smaller, and they think this because for an assault rifle, it's true. The sole reason you ADS with an AR is so you get first shot accuracy and have a higher chance of hitting your shots. What these people are forgetting though is that a shotgun is different than an AR or an SMG. Instead of a single projectile or bullet, a shotgun in Fortnite shoots pellets into a cone-like pattern called its spread. What ADSing with a shotgun does is it tightens the spread, which means you'll be more likely to do higher damage since all the pellets will be closer together. For example, in this 1v1 wager Clix is in, he takes control of his opponent's wall and goes for an edit shot that he misses. He then ADSs the next shot for 190 and ends up winning the fight through a nice right hand peek. Now, outside of the fact that Clix missed the first pump he decided to hip fire and nearly one pump the guy with the shot he chose to ADS, I want you guys to take away that entire wall edit into ADS shotgun shot technique. Personally, it's one of my favorite times to ADS with a shotgun. All you do is yoink your opponent's wall, start the edit, then after you've finished confirming the edit, immediately aim in and flick onto the target. Compared to the normal way of yoinking the wall and hip firing, you can see there's two extra benefits of doing it my way. First is that due to the shotgun pullout delay that's still in the game, you're forced to wait in order to shoot after the edit. When you ADS, however, you're using that time to line up your shot rather than just standing there waiting to hip fire. Then the other benefit is because you're aiming in as the edit goes through, you're canceling out the time it takes to fully aim in normally. That means your opponent won't get any opportunity to take advantage of the fact you're standing still, which would happen if you edit the wall, wait for it to finish, and then aim in. Tons of pros like Liquid Mitro and Booga always ADS their shotgun shots following a quick edit. They know they'll have a much higher chance of hitting their target as well as doing more damage if they ADS, so why would they not do it when they have the opportunity to? Half the time they're not even fully aimed down sight. They'll just very briefly aim in to tighten their spread and un-ADS as soon as they get the shot off. All they care about is tightening their spread and making their shot do more damage. Last quick note on ADSing is that you don't always want to ADS. Most of the time you should be hip firing. I just see way too many of you guys only hip firing and wanted to address it.
But Sharian, how do I know when to ADS and when not to?
Well, little Timmy, it mainly comes down to what your opponent is doing in the fight. If your opponent is jumping around in front of you like a madman, do not ADS. You never want to stand still on an opponent who is right in your face. Not only will that make you a ridiculously easy target to hit, but it will also make it harder for you to hit your opponent. On the other hand, if your opponent is coming out of an edit, walking in a straight line, or sitting behind a build piece trying to peek you, there's no reason you should not be aiming down sight on them. You'll do way more damage compared to hip firing, and you'll be way more likely to not completely miss your shot. So whenever you have the opportunity to ADS with your shotgun, please for the sake of Papa Jarian, do it. Next tip is another seemingly simple one that a ton of you watching overlook: to aim for the top of your opponent's body. One of the worst shotgun mistakes you can make nowadays is keeping your crosshair too low. Not only will you end up doing less damage since you won't get the headshot multiplier, but you'll also miss more pellets. And yes, I know this doesn't make much sense considering the size of your character's hitbox. Every character in game has a much smaller head compared to their body. The thing is, I'm not telling you to aim only for their head. When I say the top of their body, I mean their upper chest, which is actually the largest part of their hitbox, as well as their neck and head. These areas will give you the greatest chance you have to do max damage. To illustrate, take a look at this fight Liquid Metro gets into in Arena. It's obviously not the cleanest clip in the world, especially for Metro standards, but he does win the 1v1. The reason I'm showing it is because even though he misses the first 2 shots, the third one alone wins him the fight. This is something you see a ton in Metro's gameplay. He consistently hits 100 plus damage shotgun shots with both the tack and pump. Can you guess what it all comes back to? Yep, aiming for the top of his opponent's body. Even when Metro misses a shot, his crosshair is never positioned below his opponent's stomach. He's trained himself to always keep his crosshair high up, and as a result, will only miss shots if he leaves it too high. Metro would much rather die from missing 2 or 3 shotgun shots in a row than hitting 3 shots that only do 30 damage each. Additionally, he's smart, and he's aware his aim is not perfect. No matter how much aim training Metro does, he will always end up missing a few shots. He is not a controller player. That's a joke, by the way, please don't hurt me. Seriously though, he's a keyboard and mouse player that will make mistakes. When you keep your crosshair high up, however, you can negate those mistakes by hitting higher damage shotgun shots when your aim is good. That's also why you want to upgrade your shotguns whenever you can. Kind of a secret trick pros use to do more damage is that they consistently have purple and gold pumps. They know how much better those weapons are than the lower rarity ones and will do their best to upgrade them before the mid game. Anyways, back to the shotgun aim tips, and one thing Metro does to improve his crosshair placement is to have a different Y sense than his X sense. To be more specific, he plays on 800 DPI, 8.5% X sense, and 6.2% Y sense. His Y sensitivity is a full 2 percentage points lower than his X one. Why? Well, just think about what your Y sensitivity does. It controls how fast your character looks up and down. It also makes your crosshair move much slower vertically, meaning it's easier to maintain your current crosshair placement on your opponent's upper body. And that's essentially why Metro and other pro players like NRG Edgy use it. They find it way harder to control their crosshair and hit higher damage pumps with a faster Y sensitivity. So although I've never been a fan of it myself, go and try out a lower Y sensitivity and let me know your results. Second to last shotgun aim tip is to be patient. One of the biggest mistakes I used to make in the past was rushing my shots. If someone was in front of me, I would almost always try to shoot my shotgun as fast as I could. Now, in theory, this is the smart thing to do. The earlier you shoot, the quicker you can shoot again or swap to another weapon. In practice though, it's actually the worst thing you can possibly do. Anytime you rush your shot, you're going to be more likely to miss and to do less damage. Sure, you might be able to do more damage over time, but if you're trying to hit max damage pumps, then do not rush your shot. It's okay to take damage from your opponent as you line up your shot on their head. It's also okay to wait for them to stop jumping or to get closer to them to shoot. A perfect example of this can be seen in the beginning of Martos's latest video. We see him in the middle of a box fight when he dumps on his opponent and immediately gets pushed. He does a good job of playing defensively, and then following an edit, finishes the clip with another fat pump. What I want you guys to pay attention to is how long it took to line up that shot. He could have easily gone for the initial body shot he had when he first edited the wall. Instead, however, he waited for the wall break animation to finish and for his opponent to land after jumping to shoot. That's the difference between top tier aimers and everyone else. On top of having great aim, they know when to utilize it and when they should wait to. Most players in that situation, including me, would have done like 80 damage in the beginning and then raged after losing the fight. Martos though, knew he only had one shot and was smart enough to line it up perfectly. So if it hasn't been clear enough already, the takeaway is to take your time to line up your shots. Do not rush yourself, do not be scared to take a little damage, and do not forget to use the other tips I've mentioned so far. The final tip I want to cover is regarding how you should practice your shotgun aim. In my opinion, the fastest and most efficient way you can work on it is through aim duels. I talked about aim duels in the last shotgun aim video I made a few months back, and it's still just as useful as it was then. What you do is find a friend, load up the map in creative, grab a shotgun, and then drop down into the arena. You'll have 2,000 or more total health, and your goal is to try and kill the other person before they kill you. This will work on your mouse or your thumbstick control, your close range shotgun aim, and if you pay attention, your crosshair placement. By the way, if you're looking for a good map, my favorite aim duel arena has to be the new one Raider 464 made. I'll leave the code for it in the description as well as on the top of the screen. I believe it has a total of 5 different health options as well as 5 different 1v1 maps. Regardless of which one you use though, aim duels will undoubtedly improve your shotgun aim. Overall guys, that's how to get better shotgun aim and hit higher damage pumps. To sum it up, make sure you ADS with your shotgun whenever you can, aim for the top of your opponent's body, and wait as long as you have to in order to line up your your shot. On top of that, do aim duels on Raider's new map to aim train. If you follow my tips and actively go out and practice, your shotgun aim will improve and I can guarantee it. So for those of you that enjoyed the video or learned something new, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. The 600k subscriber giveaway is officially over, but let me know what I should do for 700k. We just hit it and I cannot thank you guys all enough. Otherwise, that's it from me and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.